Welcome to Midfield Sportscast.
And episode 37 of the Divided Friendship podcast. Today, it is me, Maddyx, it is Dawson, and it is Luke. Oh, we get an today.
You changed that forever ago.
I remember it being a little bit more different.
Yeah, we changed that.
You changed it, but I don't remember it being All right, so today we will be recapping week 1 of the college football season. We will be predicting the top 5 games of week 2. We'll also review our picks of week 1. And that will be the episode. Oh, we also have upset picks to do. So let's get into it. Who has the first game? Luke?
That was me saying no, but I guess
It's you, buddy.
What?
Last week, these are. What?
You just wasn't going to tell me 8 days ago?
All right. You ready?
All right, well, I'm going to talk about probably the bigger upset game, or the biggest upset game of this week. Florida State getting the win over Alabama. This was a Florida State team, reminder, that came off just a couple years ago, came off that undefeated season, missed the playoffs from the Jordan Travis injury, and ever since that point, the program went completely downhill, having a 2-10 season last year. That was abysmal. And then they come back, they got a whole new team. They got quarterback Thomas Castellanos. I think that's how you say it, Castellanos. And he's talking all this talk about, Saban's not there to save him, how they're gonna beat Alabama, and most people, they said he was stupid because this was the Florida State team that not a lot of people thought were going to be able to, have a great season after seeing what they did last year. And he was able to stand on what he said, and Florida State would get a 31-17 win against Alabama. Castellanos went 9 for 14 with 152 yards, so a solid game there. Ty Simpson was the starting quarterback for Alabama. They just about a week or so before this game, I think, announced that Ty Simpson would be the starting quarterback for the Tide over Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. And even though they weren't able to get the win here, I think this still was the right decision. I know before I said that Keelan Russell should have been the quarterback, and that's still iffy to me, but I think Ty Simpson starting this game, he's been around it. He's been able to experience it. Russell, first game against Florida State in that environment would just be stadium pulse through the roof. But Ty Simpson had a great game. He went 23 for 43, 254 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So despite the loss, he did very well. But Florida State is able to pull off the upset, and it is seeming that Rome has begun to fall. Rome.
What a bar. All right. You got it? Okay, I'll take it. Well, I will go into the next game on our predictions. I'll go to a more I'll go to a game that was a little bit more lopsided than some of the others we have on here. I'll go to Tennessee and Syracuse. Tennessee ends up winning this game 45-26 in a kind of predictable win. Here we all picked Tennessee to win this game, and we all got it right. So 4 for 4 for picks for us. Steve Angeli, 23 for 40 for 274, touchdown and a pick. Could not get the run game really working great. Willis had 23 carries for 91 yards and 3 touchdowns with a long of 14. Just trying to get that run game to work, and it wouldn't. Now for Tennessee, 12 carries for 92 yards for Thomas and 11 carries for 82 yards for Bishop, as well as the UCLA transfer quarterback Joey Aguilar, 16 for 28 for 247 and 3 touchdowns for him. had some nice games by wide receivers. Braylon Staley, 4 receptions, 95 yards, and a touchdown, along with 73. Chris Brazzell, 5 catches, 62 yards. It's a nice game for him. And Bishop, 2 for 44. In the air, as well as what he. Oh, wait. Yeah, as well as what he put on the ground. So, Tennessee, kind of predictable win here. And we'll move on to game 3 and Dawson.
All right, I'm going to talk about, we're going to go LSU Clemson. Man, did LSU look amazing in that game. The theme with their team under Brian Kelly has been all offense, little to none on the defensive side of the ball. But in this game, on the road against what was believed to be probably a top 5 offense in all of the sport, they hold them to 10 points. And I mean, really shut down any type of offense for the Clemson Tigers. For them, offensively, Cade Klubnik, 19 for 38, 230 yards, and an interception. QBR of 31.4. And this is a quarterback that was supposed to be probably top 3 quarterback in the sport. Potential Heisman candidate. And on the road, LSU's defense came in and really bottled him up, as well as their top-tier receiving room. Leading receiver was Bryant Westco for 4 catches, 66 yards. Rushing, nothing for Clemson. 20 carries, 31 yards as a team. Leading rusher was Adam Randall, 5 carries, 16 yards, and a touchdown. Now for LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, 28 for 38, 232 yards, and a touchdown. He looked really good. Rushing, Caden Durham, 17 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
What did I do?
Team 31 for 108 and a touchdown. Leading receiver, Aaron Anderson, 6 catches for 99 yards. Trades Green caught the lone passing touchdown on the day. He had 2 catches for 17 yards. But overall, it was just LSU dominating Clemson. Like, I don't even think the score being a 7-point game really reflects how that game went. It was just LSU under control the whole entire time.
And they also put a 5'10" corner man on a 6'7" tight end.
I mean, whenever that happens, it's got to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go into the next game here, and then I'll just take it right to our last game because that would be the game that I was most excited for. But here we will go Notre Dame against Miami. On the road at Miami. Carson Beck's debut for Miami, and it went really well for him. 20 for 31, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did exactly what he needed to do. Got his playmakers the football. Mark Fletcher, 15 carries, 66 yards. Brown, 15 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Also, Jordan Lyle, 5 for 11. Not great game for him. The true freshman wide receiver, Malachi Toney, 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. The 17-year-old, we won't ever hear the end of that one. Oh, crap. Fumble. C.J. Daniels, 5 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown for him. Now, the difference in this game, I think, is Jeremiah Love, 10 carries, 33 yards, and receiving, he had 4 catches for 26 yards. I understand he was only getting 3.3 a carry, but he is your best player on offense. Why aren't we using him more? And when there's problems like that, you gotta keep trying to fix it during the game. And it seemed like they just kind of went away from him, went to other things. C.J. Carr, 19 for 30, 221, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Not a bad debut by him. They let him sling it a lot. First drive, he threw it. I think his first 3 or 4 plays were just passes. Receiving, they also did not get a catch for Jaden Greathouse, which is very surprising. Eli Raridan, leading receiver, 5 catches, 97 yards. Faison, 5 for 33 and a touchdown. Malachi Fields, 3 for 48. And yeah, difference in this game was just Jeremiah Love not being himself, and Miami wins it 27-24.
All
Then,
right, hold on.
hold up.
Are you done with that?
I thought we were going to go to this game.
Yeah, before you go to that, I want to touch on something real quick. I'm not going to talk about it too long. I just want to touch on it. Monday night, we had the college debut of Bill Belichick at North Carolina, and he started off the game solid, going with North Carolina going right down the field. But then the rest of the game was just TCU all the game. It was a bad debut for Belichick. His final score was 48-14. Gio Lopez, 4 for 10, 69 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. That's just sad. Bad debut for Bill Belichick. Curious to see where he goes from here in his college career at North Carolina. Okay, now
on to the game of the week. I'm just going to talk about it now. The number 1 versus number 3, Texas at Ohio State. A very, very interesting matchup here. One of the first times we've ever seen a game like this. An SEC team on the road to a Big Ten team, and in week 1, and they're ranked this high. You just don't ever see something like this. And I thought it was a great game. Some people say it is boring, but that's what people say when there's no offense. And it wasn't ugly offense all the way around. It was just very good defense at moments. Texas had drives that they got it going, but they just kept getting stuffed on 4th down. Stats wise, Arch Manning, 17 for 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Really looked at as an underwhelming performance by him. But honestly, he's starting on the road in an environment like that. His first real start of his career. And I think you just got to give him time. Keep developing him as a quarterback. I think he'll be all right. But the defense just so good for Ohio State in this game. Great secondary, great play calling by Matt Patricia, and our linebackers are studs. Rushing wise, Texas did have a really good run game. Wisner, 16 carries, 80 yards. Baxter, 10 for 40. Arch Manning, 10 for 38. Ran when he had to. Receiving, Jack Andrews, 4 for 50. Livingston, 2 for 47 and a touchdown with a 32-yard catch to put them back into the ball game. Ohio State's Julian Sayans' first career start, 13 for 20 for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. Just enough. He didn't have to do too much. Add in a couple drops. I think 3 drops total. 1 by Max Clare, 2 by Jeremiah Smith in this game. He played just as well as he needed to. Donaldson, 19 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Not a great game rushing for Ohio State. Peoples, 10 carries for 20 yards. Carnell Tate, 2 catches, 49 yards, and touchdown with a 40-yard touchdown catch. Jeremiah Smith, 6 for 43. Pretty much used as a decoy during this game. Taken away by the Texas defense once again. But a great game by the Ohio State defense. And just great defense all around, but it came down. Texas had the football end of the game, and Ohio State's defense stood on 4th down. Caleb Downs making the tackle short of the yard to gain, and they picked it up on downs and ran the clock out, took a couple knees, and Ohio State won it. We had Dawson pick Ohio State, and I picked Ohio State. Luke and Quentin both picking Texas, and they got it wrong. So +3 and +1 from me and Philly, as a lower ranked team beat a higher ranked team. So after the end of this, our leaderboard sits at Dawson and me tied in first with 5. Quentin in second with 3, and Luke in third with 1, as he went 1 for 5 on the week.
I did.
Yes.
Dang.
He picked Notre Dame, Texas, Alabama, Clemson, and Tennessee.
Oh.
Me and Dawson went 2 for 5. Quentin went 1 for 5 as well, but he got the Alabama score right, 31-17, just the wrong winner. So that would be the end, I assume, everybody, the end of week 1 games. I have a question to the two people in here. I want to know, who do you think the number 1 team in the country should be? As some people think this is a question mark, and I've argued about it. What do you think?
You go first.
Well, I don't really think it's a question at the moment.
Well, you can base it off like your rankings, not like the AP. Like the AP, you kind of figure that yes, Ohio State would be the number 1 team because of the way they rank Texas. But you had Penn State ranked number 1, not Texas.
But Penn State also did not play a number 1 AP poll team right off the rip, trying to break in a new quarterback, a new coordinator. Obviously, Ohio State has great players both sides of the ball, but Penn State against Nevada, I just think that it's very reasonable to put Ohio State over Penn State now for the time being. I still think Penn State's a great football team, don't get me wrong, and I still think that they could be the number 1 down the line, but right now I just don't feel like Penn State deserves to be higher up on my rankings than the Buckeyes.
All right. Well, for me, I still think it's Penn State. I had Penn State in my number 1 spot for my beginning rankings. And yes, I did update my rankings from the first podcast that were very abysmal. But Penn State was still my number 1 team after I had updated my rankings. I think they still are as of now. And that's not for me to say that Ohio State's not a top 3 team. I'd say Ohio State's a very close behind Penn State. But I just think Penn State is the better team all around at the quarterback, running back position. Wide receivers, I wouldn't say they're better than Ohio State, but they're still very good in the wide receiver room. The Penn State defense has always been good. So yeah, for me it's still Penn State, but that's not to say Ohio State's not a 2 or a 3.
Reasonable. Most of the people have been saying it's either Ohio State or they say it's LSU. That's just based off the teams that people have played so far. That's why they're saying LSU. And
well, I'm going to stop you right there.
All right.
LSU, I really liked what I saw from them. However, I just don't think that I viewed them high enough coming into the season to justify bumping them all the way to 1 for me just because of that win.
Honestly, if you look at it, I don't think Ohio State played near good enough to right now to win a national title, but they just beat a team that good playing like that on offense. Usually you see Ohio State teams do that where they play really good on offense and all right on defense. It was kind of different. It was different. We'll see how that works throughout the rest of the season. Now we're on to our week 2 predictions. First game. You always do this. You want this?
Sure, why not? We'll just go ahead, take this here. All right, first game that we've got is going to be a Big Ten ACC matchup. It is going to be Illinois headed to Durham, North Carolina to take on the Duke Blue Devils. Illinois ranked number 11, Duke unranked. 12 o'clock kickoff time, Illinois 2.5-point favorites.
I'll go first. I'm going to say Illinois will win this game. I think Illinois is a really good team. I am really interested about their matchup with Ohio State coming up in it's more than a couple of weeks, but in a few weeks. I will go Illinois 31-20. Duke puts up a bit of a fight, but Illinois holds on and wins. Luke?
I'm also going to go with Illinois here. I think Illinois is the more proven team with more better talent on the offense over Duke. Short and sweet, I'm taking Illinois 34-24.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be a little different. Why not? Duke home field advantage. Obviously this Illinois team returns a ton of starters from last year, but I'm going to go ahead and buy in on the Duke Blue Devil hype right now. I'm gonna say they beat Illinois at home, get a big win for their program, and Darian Mensah really just bursting onto the scene for the Blue Devils. We're gonna go Duke by way of 28-24. And then Quentin, who is not with us today, but we still have his
He
picks.
did not die.
He
did.
I just said today.
Okay.
Anyways, he picks Illinois 24-14. Next game we have is going to be, we're going to go to the Cy-Hawk battle. Battle of the Cy-Hawk. Cy-Hawk Trophy, something like that. It's Iowa at number 16, Iowa State. We've got a 12 p.m. kickoff on Fox. Iowa State 3.5-point favorites.
I'm going to take another Big Ten team here. I'm going to go with the Iowa Hawkeyes with the upset, beating a decent Iowa State team here. I'm going to go Iowa. Their defense always really good. I'm going to go 23-17. Iowa State has the ball late. Touchdown would win it. They don't get it. I'm going to go with Iowa. Luke, you're up.
The past couple of years, we've seen that the Iowa offense has obviously been their strong downside, and I think it'll stay that way. This game, I'm going to take Iowa State here in a big win, 42-16. We saw what they've been able to do these past couple games. We've seen that Iowa State can prove themselves in tough matchups, that they can beat these tough defenses. Iowa's defense has always been a tougher defense, but even if, you can't get past Iowa's defense, you can stop Iowa's offense. So as long as you're getting at least 7 a game, you're probably going to win. So I'm going to take Iowa State 42-16.
All right. Well, I'm also going to pick Iowa State. I just think that they look like the better football team. They're playing pretty solid over the first few weeks of the season. And this will be obviously a huge game for both teams, and more so prove it for Iowa's offense. Mark Gronowski transferring in from the FCS level to FBS Power 4 football. So we'll get to see his first crack at a pretty good Iowa State defense, and I'm going to pick Iowa State to win this one 22-17. Quentin picked Iowa State to beat the Iowa State to beat the Hawkeyes 21-10. Next game we have is going to
What did Clinton say?
21-10.
Oh, I thought that was you. Shoot. Oh, crap. Clinton said Iowa State 21-10. You said
22-17. Next game we have is going to be a Big 12 ACC matchup where we are going to have the Baylor Bears coming off a rough Week 1 loss to Auburn, headed into SMU to take on the Mustangs, who are ranked number 17. 12 o'clock kickoff, SMU 2.5-point favorites.
I will go with SMU for the win here. Playoff team of last year. Surprise team of last year. I'm going to go a good game. I'm going to go SMU 35, Baylor 34. Field goal makes it.
We saw Baylor have a very strong test in their opener last week against Auburn, and we saw that they weren't able to prove themselves. They didn't win. 38-24, I believe, was the score, and now they have to face a better team in SMU, like Maddyx said, playoff team from last year. I'm going to take SMU here, 28-14. getting their first win in ACC play.
What?
Wait, hold on. SMU. Oh, it's Baylor. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's Baylor. Never mind.
All right. Well, again, I'm going to take this opportunity to pick against both of you guys. I'm going to take Baylor on the road. They are my sleeper team of the year. I think that they will still win the Big 12. But that's funny. I don't even know if I picked Baylor to win the Big 12 at the start. But, my mind has changed. Anyways, that's besides the point. I'm going to pick Baylor to defeat the Mustangs by a score of 30-20. And then we'll go to Quentin's. Quentin picked in favor of, if I can pull it up, he picked SMU to win 35-21. All right. Next game that we have is right. We're going to have Kansas at Missouri.
Yep.
That's right. Kansas at Missouri. It will be, if it'd load, it'd be nice. 3:30 kickoff. Missouri 6.5-point favorites.
I love Kansas. I like Jalen Daniels. Sorry. Jalen Daniels. Watching him is fun to watch when he's healthy, but I can't pick against Missouri in this game. I'm going to go Missouri. They are at home. The crowd advantage. It's going to be an interesting matchup, but I will go Missouri. SEC gets the win. I'll go 28-10. Don't think Kansas offense can handle Missouri. Luke.
All right, we saw in their opener week.
He just had a stroke.
We saw in their opener, Missouri's offense looked amazing. I really loved what I saw out of Missouri's offense that game. Now, granted, take it with a grain of salt against an FCS team, Central Arkansas, but I still liked what I saw. 61-0 win, I think. 61 to something. Missouri's offense looked really good. Kansas's offense looked good in their openers too. But I just think that Missouri's overall the better team. They're going to get the win. 30-20. I'm taking Missouri.
Okay. I really want to pick Kansas here, but I don't think I can do that. I just think Missouri's home field advantage is going to be too much. Really liked what I saw from Bo Pribula and their offense in week 1. Obviously, playing Central Arkansas, not really going to get a great kind of analysis on the defense just yet. This will be their first true test. But I think the offense will be very good, and I'm going to pick Missouri to win this one 34-23.
You again, buddy.
Oh, fact.
Is that Javante?
It is Javante.
Let's go! As my traded player. I just traded for him.
All right. Game of the week, obviously, headed where game day is headed. We're going to have Michigan Wolverines, number 15 in the country, take on the Oklahoma Sooners, number 18 in the country. What?
Quinn?
Oh, you're right. Sorry, jumped the gun. Wanted to talk about Michigan there. Quentin picks Missouri to win 35-14. And for this game, we're gonna let Maddyx talk about it first, and then me and Luke will talk about it.
Said 35-14. Shoot, I haven't even decided who I'm picking in this game yet. This is an interesting matchup. What in the world was that? That block was interesting. An SEC team again playing a Big Ten team. Excuse me, Big Ten team. This time it is at Oklahoma, so it's at the SEC team. Is what I mean by that. I will take Big Ten to win. Beat SEC again. I'm gonna go Michigan in this game. Either way, if they lose, I can talk about how Michigan lost. If they win, Big Ten beats an SEC team. So to win, I will go Michigan with the win. I'm gonna go with more of a lower score. I'll go 24-20. I think the environment will affect Bryce Underwood for about a quarter, and then he'll lock back in. But Luke, you're up, buddy.
All right. Well, Saturday, I'm going to start out by saying Saturday, I really loved what I saw out of Bryce Underwood. I'm going to kind of combine the review of last week's game and kind of shift it into my prediction for this week's game. Michigan's offense was so much better than last year. We were finally able to throw the ball for 251 yards is how much Bryce Underwood had. I think that would have been the highest of any game last season, which is just so crazy to think about because if you really think about it, that's not even really high, and that would have been our highest. But Bryce Underwood, he looked amazing. I think he's worthy of the hype. Moving over from Bryce Underwood, though, Justice Haynes with an explosive debut at Michigan. He had three touchdowns, three touchdowns, big run on the first drive of the game, and he has seemed to have locked himself in as a Michigan man. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Donovan Edwards from 2023 or 2022 towards the end of the season when Corum got hurt. Big explosive runner, not like how we've been seeing the past couple years with Corum and Mullings, where we've had big power runners. Not to say that Haynes isn't a strong runner, because he is, but he just reminds me of the more explosive guys we've seen the past couple years, like Edwards. Receiving, we looked good. I mean, when you got Bryce Underwood there, a good combination. Defensively, I think we could have done better. 34-17 was the final score, by the way. I don't think I said it. 17 points. Gave up a really cool trick play. I got to admit, it was really cool. They went fake the QB sneak, threw the legs, bounced off the grass to the running back who threw it to the tight end for a touchdown. I got to admit, that's crazy. But other than that, I mean, the defense wasn't awful. Also, another big storyline going into this game. Jayshon Barham got called for targeting in the second half of that game against New Mexico, which is a terrible call. I'm not going to go get into it. But he is out of the first half of the game against Oklahoma. So he was ejected from the second half, and now he's going to miss the first half of the game. He'll still be in the second half, but we're going to miss 2 quarters of Jayshon Barham, one of our better defensive stars. Now, with all that stuff being said, I'm going to transfer into the prediction part. I'm going to take Michigan here, 27-19. The offense has just been so much improved, and building off of that momentum from the end of last season, it was a good way to start the season, and I think we're going to try to keep this offense just to keep building and building better and better. I see Underwood having a great game. I see Haynes being explosive again. All that being said, I'm taking Michigan 27-19. A lot of stuff there.
All right. Well, Luke basically just touched base on all of the stuff from week 1 game against New Mexico. Only thing I have to add to that is I really think the defense was fine. Obviously, room to improve week 1, whatever. But I think, bless you.
Thank you.
I don't think the score truly reflects the performance defensively. Had a whole drive of the game. We were just kind of getting screwed over by penalties. No easy way to say it. Obviously, other ways around that, just get a stop. But there was a few questionable flags thrown that probably shouldn't have been. But hey, what can you do? such as football. Can't really decide what the refs are going to do. You just got to play with the hand you're dealt.
Ooh.
So I think room for improvement, yes, but 17 points, I don't think it was as bad as what the score reflected. However, coming into this game, the defense will have to be better. Oklahoma really showed how explosive and big play oriented they can be against their opponent in week one. John Mateer had a great debut as a Sooner. Offense very much improved from what they had last year. New coordinator, new quarterback, new weapons, everything. So we will see what goes on there. But defensively for the Wolverines, just clean up some things, the small things, play sound. Wink Martindale will have a good game plan for our team, I'm sure. So I trust that we'll be all right. Offensively, Bryce Underwood, his first true college football start. It's going to be a big, big crowd. Prime time kickoff, 7:30, I do believe it is. Oklahoma's 5.5-point favorites, by the way. But big time kickoff, big time game, playing on the road against a top 25 team in the country. Never an easy thing, especially not in an SEC environment. I just want him to kind of limit the mistakes. You don't have to necessarily go out there and win us the game. Just don't go out there and lose us the game. He's going to be an upgrade from what we had at quarterback last year. You could already see that through the first game of his career. But like I said, just don't try to do too much. Don't need to turn the ball over, trying to make a miracle play. Just trust the offense. We can move the ball down the field. Obviously, we've got a dynamic rushing attack. Justice Haynes went for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. But Jordan Marshall, kind of a down game, 11 for 29, I do believe it was. But we saw what he did against Alabama last year in the Royal Quest Bowl. So fully confident that he will be able to pick up what he did last year at the end of the season. However, that being said, here comes my score prediction.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go Michigan to win this one 17-13. Low-scoring game. I think the defenses, both sides, Wink Martindale, obviously Brent Venables always has a good defense. I think it's going to be a defensive game, and it's ultimately going to come down to just one drive. Maybe one team turns the ball over, one team doesn't. Something along those lines. But I'm going to take Michigan to win 17-13. Quentin is picking Michigan 31-27.
So you have them by 4. Luke has them by 8. I have them by 4. Quentin has them by 4. Pretty good game.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Upset picks of the week. Anybody got one of those? I got one. I got mine written down. You go first.
All right, my upset pick of the week. This game is actually going to be played on Friday. It is James Madison. I think James Madison is going to be able to beat Louisville. Louisville led by Miller Moss now, but people tend to forget this was a really good James Madison team from last year. This was a team that hung 70 against North Carolina. They also gave up 50, but that's okay. And in my opinion, all this team has done was improve over the offseason. They've just
Yes.
I don't know why I said over the offseason. I don't know what I was trying to say. I just think James Madison is going to be the better team here. This game is, like I said, Friday night, 7 p.m. Yeah, I'm taking James Madison.
I am going to go with the USF Bulls to upset the Florida Gators and ruin a lot of people's playoffs and underrated teams in the SEC, stuff like that. South Florida, led by Byron Brown, went in and crushed Boise State week 1. That was last week, yeah. Felt like forever ago because they played on a Friday. But I will go with USF. I think Byron Brown's a good quarterback. I think Boise State's not very good, but I do think that they're going to play up to competition and they will upset Florida. So, y'all.
Fair enough. We don't have an upset pick of the week from Quentin, but it's whatever. Last week, I was the only one that made an upset pick of the week, so I can kind of talk about mine a little bit.
You're right.
I took Southern Miss over Mississippi State. Did not happen. It looked like it could have happened after the first half, but, man, that second half came around and Mississippi State just rolled them. So, didn't happen. This week, I'm going to take Western Kentucky over Toledo. On the road, Toledo is a 7.5-point favorite here. Western Kentucky looking to remain undefeated on the year. Toledo trying to pick up their first. I really like the Western Kentucky offense.
Already have another one heck of a quarterback in Western Kentucky.
I think that it's weird. Their offensive system is really quarterback friendly. It's just throw the ball, and it's really exciting to watch. If you ever are just kind of bored and are like, wonder what football is on, they play in Conference USA. I'm sure they'll be on it sometime throughout the week at any point in the season. You ever get bored, just go turn on a Western Kentucky football game and watch that offense, man. It's something to watch, but that's my pick of the week.
Oh, talk about our games next week. I guess I'm up. You guys already talked about Oklahoma.
Go ahead, old Grambling.
Grambling State.
See the bands.
Even their coach kind of said that they're, in a way, he said, word for word, he's like, we all know why we're playing this game. We know what's going to happen. Pretty much saying they know they're going to get beat. But, I mean, if they do somehow pull it off, I would be very surprised, and it will be the biggest upset in the history of football. But I don't think it's going to happen. There's not even a line out for the game. So, I think we roll. I think they score 2 times, either 2 field goals, something. They're going to get points on the board somehow. We're going to put backups in, and we'll probably be conservative towards the end of the game, third and fourth quarter. But I think it'll get ugly quick. I'll go Ohio State big. I'm not going to give a score.
All right.
That'll be it.
That's all we have for episode, what was this, 37. I believe. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in to another episode of the Divided Friendship Podcast. Always much appreciated from the 3 of us and Quentin, but just the 3 of us majority of the time. However, that will wrap up this episode. Enjoy the week of college football coming to you soon. And obviously, come back and listen to us again next week. Come back and hear what we have to say about what you watched. We'll give you some takes. But that's all we got. We will see you on the next one.
Adios.